Hello. Today I want to talk about the ancient city ruins of Termessos. Termessos is located high up on the southern flanks of the Taurus Mountains, some 34 kilometers inland from the modern southern Turkish city of Antalya on the Mediterranean coast. Most of the ruins lie across a natural platform on the mountainside at a height of over 1,000 meters above sea level. That is a comparable height to Snowdon, the highest mountain in Wales. What I will do in this video is first to show you some photographs that my wife and I took during a visit to the site in April 2011, and then talk a little bit about the history of the city. We enjoyed our visit very much. Although only a short drive from Antalya, the site gave us a great sense of peaceful and rather wild remoteness. It is set in an attractive national park, with pine forests and many rare plants, often with the ruins poking out from amongst the vegetation. There are magnificent views down the pass towards the sea, which give some impression of the rugged scenery and how difficult it would have been for enemy armies in ancient times to attack the city. To get to the ruins now is a comparatively easy drive up into the mountains to a flat base area where there's a small car park. From there you have to walk up a steep path to the site of the city itself. Visitors need to be wearing a good pair of walking shoes and have enough stamina for the climb. We saw one couple carrying a small baby when we were there, and that seemed like a bad idea to us. We would advise against taking small children or frail relatives to the site. You don't need to be a goat to make the climb, but you do need to be sure-footed and take care to climb safely. You should also take water with you, because even a brief visit will take several hours of clambering around. As you walk up the path, you pass the remains of several walls and the ancient city gate. Finally, as the land levels off, you are in amongst the ruins. Off to the left are a row of ancient structures, which I believe are the remains of a massive Roman-era gate. Then, after a further short climb, you get to the remains of the main part of the city. These include the ruins of houses, shops and temples, and a main square, beneath which there are large water cisterns hollowed out of the rock. For the most part, this is now all rather a jumble of collapsed buildings overgrown with vegetation. Away from the ruins, one is surrounded on every side by the rugged countryside. Undoubtedly one of the most interesting parts of the ruins are the remains of the theatre. With 24 rows of seats rising sharply from the theatre floor, it probably could have accommodated around 4,500 spectators. As was common with several other ancient theatres in the region, one side was set into the mountain, whilst the other side was built out over it. Another interesting feature of the site are the remains of many ancient tombs. One sees several of these as one comes back down the mountain. There are even more in the car parking area at the bottom of the slope. There is a great tumble of these, some in better condition than others. There was much of interest. Overall, it took us several hours to explore the site, and we did not see everything. There were some famous rock-cut tombs, for example, which we missed. It was tiring, and obviously not something that everyone would want to do, but we enjoyed it immensely and would love to go again. Let me now provide a short historical overview. As I understand it, the city has been comparatively under-researched, so that much remains to be discovered from archaeological investigations. The city's exact date of origin appears to be unknown, but it was already well established by the 4th century BC, when it successfully defied Alexander the Great, who abandoned an attempt to take the city in 333 BC, describing it as an eagle's nest. Its original people are described as Solmi, one of the ancient Pisidian tribes of Anatolia, named after the god Solomyus, later renamed Zeus Solomyus during the Hellenic period. The site of the city was well chosen. Situated on a saddle on the mountainside, it is easily defended, and with fortifications very hard for an ancient army to take. The Solmi also had a warlike reputation, which probably gave them a psychological advantage against would-be aggressors. The city also commands one of the important access and trade routes from the coast into the Anatolian interior. As with other Pisidian settlements in the mountains, the Solmi could utilize plentiful supplies of rainwater for irrigated farming, and in the city itself a number of large underground cisterns for water storage were constructed, as well as an aqueduct to bring in water from outside. Although they defied Alexander, the Solmi became part of the Hellenistic world and later allied themselves with Rome, becoming an autonomous city-state, with their independence recognized by the Roman Senate. Of the ruins, a number date from the Hellenistic and Roman eras. During the early Christian period, the region was Christianized, and the city was represented by a bishop. Already in decline, the city was apparently abandoned in the 5th century AD, in part because the aqueduct that had become its main source of water collapsed during an earthquake. Thank you for listening.